Good evening. This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. We are going to follow the agenda as was posted on the door. Because there are no applications being heard this evening, there will not be any public comment. We are just going to proceed to the other business portion of the meeting. So please do not address the board during that portion of the meeting. In addition, I will be recusing myself from the Weaburn application, and that will be chaired by Jeff Williams. With nothing further, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, so thank you. So in other business on the agenda, item number 1 is the ongoing deliberation for the authorization of town council to enter into a settlement in the matter of Weaburn Country Club versus Darien ZBA and Jack Cortrulli, stipulated judgment regarding ZBA application calendar 9/2/18. Okay, so the board has reviewed the draft stipulated judgment, and I will take comments from the board members as to any questions, comments, or concerns with it. Otherwise, I can go straight to a vote.
Well, I understand that it's been in the file for public viewing for several days.
That's my understanding too.
And we've also reviewed it earlier, and I'm certainly in favor of it. So.
Okay. Is there any other comment from any other of the board members? Okay.
It's okay, let me just point out.
I apologize. Go ahead.
The members that are actually involved with this are Jeff, Chuck, Ruth Ann, who can't stay, who wasn't able to, and Barb and Dan. So it's effectively the full review that would be voting on whether to accept the proposed settlement or not.
Okay. My sense is we won't have an issue with that. Four votes is approval, and why don't we go and see if we have them. So all in favor of stipulating the town council and authorizing him to sign the agreement, say aye. Do I have a second? I guess I have to have a second. Okay, I have a second.
That was a motion.
That was a motion,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Motion to
Made a motion?
Jeff
Yes.
made a motion.
Yep, I made a
I have a
motion.
second.
Do I have a second to that motion?
Second to Jeff's motion.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, there's your 4. We're done? Mr. Chairman, back to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure entirely.
We've got a requested amendment to the approved plans of calendar number 11/2018, Mary Hamilton, 19 Raymond Heights.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, there were 3 elements to this project that were changed in their construction drawings. One had to do with they'd like to add 3 shed dormers into the side of this roof line. Last time the members, so I think we're here looking at that, were Mike, Gary, Barb, Ruth Ann, and Dan.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember.
What that was about was also a chimney. It was in the front of the house that they were going to build one way, and they changed it to another style. And the third thing was a front entrance door that they wanted to move from the side of the front wall of the house to the front wall of the house. And one of, I think, Mike's questions was, would that change push this porch thing further into the setback space than the previous dimensions that the board approved? And from what I understand from the architect, it would not push the various features of the doorway into the setback space farther, but I'm not certain. So what I would suggest is if you're comfortable with the 3 changes, that we basically approve them, maybe with a condition that we verify that there's no change to the previously approved setbacks.
I think the issue, that was one issue, but as I recall, there was an issue about the dormers.
Yes, the volume of
Gary,
the dormers
weren't you
and the
you were here for that.
setbacks.
We were trying to figure out where they were. So one of the things we were asking from the applicant was some revisions to what they submitted to show us actually where the front of those dormers are. Have they submitted anything like that?
Well, they did show us something, and I thought I'd copy it for you guys, but 2 foot 10 inches is what they're saying. These 3 shed dormers in the second floor volume would project 2 foot 10 inches into the setback space. The floor below it, and the beginning of the increased roof line, is much closer to the property line, like 8.3 feet or something.
But it's added volume in the
It's
setback?
added volume.
And they're not providing us clear drawings of that or of the moving of the door?
Or of the hardship?
No, we have clear drawings of it now, yes.
But you said you think that the movement of the door won't encroach further.
Yeah, I'm not positive about this
So
setback
this-
dimension on the doorway.
But,
I'm comfortable with what they've proposed on the dormers, that they're 2 foot 10 inches in the setback,
it's 2 foot,
from the side setback.
but it's additional volume in the setback.
Yes.
Additional volume in the setback.
And do we know why there, is it to get more light
To
up there?
facilitate more second floor flexibility for bathroom.
But this
for
is
storage
this seems to
and
me
stuff.
like a classic,
Public hearing.
yeah, they gotta come in and present that. This
Yeah.
isn't just, as we said last, like, maybe 2 weeks ago, if you're changing the round window to the octagon window,
Yeah.
okay.
Normally, we wouldn't bother you with that, right?
But we have seen that. But maybe now we don't get bothered with that. I'm troubled by trying to present this from, I appreciate your efforts to explain it to us, but we're not seeing drawings, we're not understanding why they're making the change. It seems like it's entirely personal preference compared to what we approved. We don't know whether we would have approved that originally. Mike, I have problems in this. We may
Yeah.
do it, but I have a problem by the process.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, Gary. I think if they've got a couple of options. They can step those dormers back 2.5 feet. They looked, from what I remember, they looked like they were pretty sizable dormers. So they could make them 2.5 feet conforming, and they don't have to come.
Conform to the side. I think a couple of them would still be in the front setback because of the oddities of Raymond Heights and the narrowness of that particular road.
Do you have the map or proposed?
Well, it's the same drawings that you guys had from last time, but I do have.
They gotta come back. I mean, just,
So that was the question. Now, they did submit a letter from the immediate neighbor who's
That doesn't matter.
seen it and said, I'm okay.
hey, why he's fiddling around, Chuck?
This gives you a sense of what it actually,
Yeah,
It's looking like-
survey?
Thank you.
Second page?
they show the
Yeah, but
side dormers,
still doesn't show the,
front thing.
So,
yeah, they don't have, do they have a survey showing where the,
With electrolytes in it, so it tastes really good.
but Mike, you don't think this would, given the standard that was articulated to us by the
yeah.
judge in the Beach Lane, I don't know how we essentially create a new variance in this process.
Yeah, why would this be circumspect to our normal process? Why would,
I'm not on it, so I can't vote, so, but I'm,
This is the
well, then, just,
that's the
buildable area.
Oh, so they'd still be in
Footprint of the
maybe
house.
they
Oh, so they'd still be in the,
Even stepping back,
This is just
it means
another-
the
this is
side
just another
setback.
business.
Yeah.
Be mostly in the front.
yeah, yeah. No, this is,
I don't see you're gonna get support on their request from this board right now.
yeah,
I don't think you're,
I think the problem is, Woody, it's, we've been under a pretty severe level of scrutiny, and, you know, we hate to have people coming back to us for reapplying, but, you know, you can't just change the volume in the setback area without going through the standards that the courts have set out for us. It really makes our job a lot more difficult, and I think it handcuffs us to not being able to do this type of stuff. I think traditionally we have, and maybe that was incorrect, but if they want to do this, they've got to go to another public hearing. And they've got to articulate we need a hardship for every variance we grant, right? That's the new standard we're under. And so, in order to approve this, they've got to show us what the hardship is above and beyond, you know, what was granted, and why this is the minimum adjustment necessary, and really go through that checklist that we're required to follow now.
okay, all right, I'm sorry, did I interrupt?
No.
Okay, okay, just for the record, I completely 150% disagree. This board, I've been on it for 17 years, in my opinion, has acted, behaved, and decided in the same fashion for all 17 years I've been here. We have never varied from that. And one remand on one case, because it was complicated and very detailed in nature that we now have to redeliberate is perfectly acceptable to me after 17 years. It's the one and only time it's ever happened. I don't consider myself under scrutiny from the court at all for the amount of work that I've done for this board over all these years. And I feel that we've acted in good faith and done a good job all along.
No, I'm not,
So-
that's not,
so-
sorry, Jeff, if that's what you thought I said, that's not what I meant.
Okay.
I meant that we are under scrutiny, but, you know, we can't accept a completely
I
modified
completely agree.
project.
They need to come back. That's all there is to it.
Okay, so
That's
we
all- that's all
agree
there
on
is.
the basic fact.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I don't
They
know
have
what
to come
I'd be
back.
approving.
But not the reason for them to come back. The reason is because basically it's a new application, and we've had people come back a lot.
Okay.
That's nothing new. I'm not asking them to come back because a judge has remanded me on another case. I'm asking them to come back because it's a new application.
Fair
That's the point I just
Yeah,
want to
Mike, let
make.
me ask again, we have the three items. The dormers, you're obviously not comfortable with those without a new public hearing. The chimney, they basically want, instead of a brick extension of the chimney, they want to convert it to wood.
They gotta come-
Same
Yep,
location.
mhm.
But that doesn't,
Materials.
I don't care about that.
And the other thing is this front
Like
door.
building materials?
Materials.
Oh, I don't care about building
And
material.
the front door location, is the front
But
door in the
it's not-
setback?
And the other front door location, which Mike properly pointed out last time.
They need to come back and
Is around
tell
the
us what
corner
they're
in a
going to
different
do, and
spot.
we'll tell them whether it's okay or not.
I think we have a consensus on that.
Yeah,
Right?
But you're asking if we need that on all three issues, or if they should just apply on the one, the dormers?
No, I want, well, he's the chairman.
all three,
Okay,
right? I mean,
that's for you, that's fine.
that's our job.
Yes, he's right.
But I think some of these issues are not, that's fine, they can apply for all three.
The building materials on the chimney, I guess,
Yeah.
but they're changing, it's not just the building materials, they're changing the shape and.
The location,
Okay, so do we have to vote on
Shape
that?
is different.
We got to vote on that? Yeah, vote on that.
Well, you would have had to vote to agree to the amendment of the plans.
All right, we're not doing
I think
that.
what we can say.
No, we don't, actually, we don't
The
vote.
chimney, I don't have any issue with the chimney if it's materials, but,
Come back, come
I'm
back, come
comfortable on all
back.
three
come back.
changes and we'll
Then we can
decide.
decide.
Yeah.
okay.
At that point, we could
Fair enough.
affirm in part or deny in part, we could do what we want.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, one more thing, and that's, we have an applicant, interestingly enough, who was looking for some
I have this.
additions to their house, basically a front porch.
Request to extend.
What's happened is, we had a condition on their property, that they had to correct some violations. Fair enough.
There we go.
Among them was equipment that hadn't been permitted, a generator, propane tanks, air conditioners, and they were actually unsafe. They hadn't been placed properly or permitted properly, and they were too close together. They also had an unpermitted shed, and they were high on coverage. So,
Who-
this is
oh,
Rizzo.
Rizzo. Oh, I know who this is. Yep, I know who this is.
They've asked for
It's
an
on the corner.
extension.
Yeah, I know.
Well, near the corner. They've asked for a 6-month extension because they're working on resolving their correcting violations issues.
Sounds like
So
a
that's what's
reasonable,
before us, just a simple.
first of all, it sounds like a reasonable, 6-month extension we give rather freely.
Yeah.
The fact that they're spending the time to correct the violations that you pointed out, to me, seems like a reasonable request, and I
Yep.
I
don't know if
move
we need to
that,
talk about it much more.
yeah, I move that we grant the
I will
extension.
second that.
And I will vote.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
6-0. Okay. We're set.
Are we all good?
We're good.
All right, Channel
Okay.
79, we're done? Oh, we need to adjourn. Sorry, I
Can
apologize.
make a motion?
Would you like me to?
You can go ahead.
I make-
Are you two dating?
No, we're just,
There's a little tension over here.
He's drunk on power. Give him one application to share, and he just gets drunk on power.
Somebody make a motion. to
I make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn. Can I get a second?
I second.
Jeff seconds, all in favor.
Too funny.
Thank you. Channel 79, we're done for the evening.
Thank you, sir.